good evening and welcome to Country Time with Quinn, where you can contact me on countrytimewithquinn@gmail.com or drumlinmedia@gmail.com. Tonight we have a young artist here on the show, all the way from Ballina in Mayo, who took time out of his busy schedule to join us here in studio. We'd like to welcome on the show Gerry Guthrie. Gerry, welcome to the show here
tonight.
Thanks
very much, Seamus. I'm delighted to be here.
No problem at all. You're touring the full of the country and further afield at the moment.
We are, thank God. Yeah, we're in the middle of a busy schedule, trying to make a name for ourselves up and down Ireland, as the man says.
And how long? You're not too long. Well, you are on the go in the music scene a good while, but actually, as formed as a band, how
long? This is only my second year out as Gerry Guthrie and his band. So we're making a bit of ground, and as you were saying, we're managing to get to England a few times a year and to Scotland, which has proven really successful for me over there. So thank God we're chipping away at it.
It's going. It's a great scene out there, and a fantastic scene there, even with young people now who have taken the scene by storm. How do you find that now?
Yeah, well, there's the year I came into it, there seemed to be an influx of people into country music, as we know it. You have people like Derek Ryan, Nathan, Patrick Feeney. Patrick's around a while, of course. Lisa McHugh. You have then Jason Travers, a few other ones that came in, and there's a couple of great success stories in it,
It is fantastic, because anywhere I've travelled, and particularly there on the border there, you have from Castleblaney and right up into Omagh, those areas there, and right around Cavan here and further feed down into Carrick and Shannon. A fantastic turnout of young people there that are really coming in, and it seems to be spreading big time all across the way. It
definitely does seem to be. The north, has always been a kind of a stable place for country music, I think, anyways. There's always big crowds coming out in the north, And recently it seems to be drifting over the border, as I say. Mayo was a good old country music area, Sligo, but as you go down, as you were saying, more and more young people are coming out. And it's great for country music,
It is. And going back to the beginning there, you started way back even before, say prior to the last 2 years there, you started in a few other bands as well. I think there's somewhere I remember reading about Sandy Kelly as well.
That's right, yeah. The year I left school, I got my leaving cert, that year, that July, I got an offer of a job to play lead guitar with Sandy. Right. She was doing a show at the time called Patsy Cline, Music and Memories.
Very good, very good.
And the show was doing all the theatres in England and further afield in different parts of Europe as well. So I got the gig playing lead, and sure, that I was made up. Didn't want to do anything.
It got your own your name out to the forefront.
Of course,
as well,
yeah. From that day to this, I've been playing music in some shape or form for a living.
Right,
every day.
And you were forming another band as well too. Did you have?
That's right. Well, I went from Sandy's band. I went to a guy called Martin Cuff.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll be familiar with Martin.
I do, and I remember Martin exceptionally well.
Yeah,
great off the cup, and fantastic singer. Yeah.
Great country singer. And then I went to a guy called Sean Cuddy. Everybody knows Sean.
Yes, Sean, yeah.
And the last band that I played with full time was Louise Morrissey's band.
Oh, fabulous. And we spoke to Louise back there earlier on there last year, in 2012. Lovely lady.
Oh, absolutely. And you can't put a price on the things you learn from people like that,
No, because the information or even what you learn from those people, even just being with them, it's knowledge all the way. And usually you just can't buy it or get it anywhere. It's being with them and getting that information as you go along. And you would have done a number of recordings as well yourself.
I did. When I left Louise's band, I decided to put a one-man show on the road at home around Mayo and Galway, which was, thank God, it did really well for me. But came to a stage then where I decided I was going to record something, just to put out on the local radio. And I picked an old Big Tom song called The Sunday Morning Christian. You'll know.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's an old Harlan Howard song, an American guy that wrote it. So I recorded the song, and it took legs, So I was kind of playing around at home, and it's one thing led to another, and I met a guy called Henry McMahon one night.
I know Henry well, yes.
Henry. I met Henry in a place called the McWilliam Park, and we were chatting about one thing and another. A mutual friend of ours introduced us, and he started telling me about how good things were on the scene, and we were saying about country music needing new people,
Right.
So one thing led to another, and before I knew where I was, we were talking about maybe putting a band on the road,
right,
giving it a shot, and from that to this, the rest is kind of
history. And Henry would have actually written a song for you as well too.
He did, yeah. The first single that we put out was a song called Shut Up Heart, and that was one that Henry sourced. Karen, actually, Henry's daughter, sourced it from America. And the second one was the song that we'd spoken about the first time I met him. It's called The Lucky Horseshoe.
That's right. Fantastic song.
Yeah, and the song it took legs as well, when it came out.
It did.
It's the one kind that everybody associates.
It is, because
with me,
it's still, even on the radio, people are still calling in for that song.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
I've been very lucky with it, He also wrote another one called Two Loving Hearts afterwards.
That's right.
And another song that did well, but Henry has a great gift.
He has a fabulous gift there, and he's coming from a fantastic background too, because he played at Big Tom as well.
Yeah,
too,
he was the founder of that band,
That's right.
And funny enough, I was talking to Declan Ernie there recently as well. Declan has a new album out also called Ernie's Gold, It's all his hits. And there's 20 tracks on it, and Henry wrote 7 of them.
Right.
So imagine, he wrote 7 of which were probably the biggest hits in the whole scene of their time.
Actually, just when we're on that subject, show, we'll go to one of those songs now, and we let our audience see what they like it, because it'll be fabulous, and it is a beautiful song.
Yeah, no problem.
Blacksmith's forge, a well-dressed man, his name was George. He said, "Good morning, Smithy, just the man I want to see. My daughter's pony threw a shoe. I was advised to come to you, and if you could replace it, I'll gladly pay your fee." When his daughter brought the pony in, the blacksmith's eyes could not take in the beauty of the lady standing by the door. And when she smiled and said hello, deep in his heart he felt a glow. From that day on, the blacksmith's life was changed forevermore. Her daddy was a wealthy man on many acres of fine land, a 22-room mansion with a panoramic view. I've heard it said that love is blind. Couldn't change his daughter's mind. She fell in love with the blacksmith who made her pony's shoe. On the day that they were married, she rode in a horse-drawn carriage with 4 high-stepping ponies. 2 were black and 2 were gray, with seats of satin lining and buckles that were shining, but they couldn't match her beauty on her wedding day. Well, now you've heard the story of the blacksmith and the lady. Some may think it's fiction, some may think it's true, but I've never been to a wedding yet. Among the gifts the bride will get, someone will always give her a lucky old horseshoe. Her daddy was a wealthy man on many acres of fine land, a 22-room mansion with a panoramic view. I've heard it said that love is blind. He couldn't change his daughter's mind. She fell in love with the blacksmith who made her pony's shoe. Her daddy was a wealthy man on many acres of fine land, a 22-room mansion with a panoramic view. I've heard it said that love is blind. He couldn't change his daughter's mind. She fell in love with the blacksmith who made her pony's shoe. I've heard it said that love is blind. He couldn't change his daughter's mind. She fell in love with the blacksmith who made her pony's shoe.
It's absolutely fantastic. It is. I can understand now that, that song just really went down fantastic, and it's a lovely one, all right.
It did, yeah. It's one of those things that has everything that Irish people like in a country song. It has a good tempo for dancing, and it has a good story.
It
so
has.
Lucky,
Fantastic story. It is a lovely... And that's what caught everybody's heart, was the story in it, because no matter where you are, you'll always just listen to the story within that.
Of course, yeah.
That is unreal. And Karen, Henry's daughter, she's fantastic as well, because I've been talking to her a few times, and any help she could do, she's fantastic to be there to talk to.
Of course, yeah. They have a great knowledge of the business. Between,
Well, that's what it's all about.
It's very important to have people like that.
Yeah, you can have someone there to manage, but if they haven't got the knowledge of the background, it's of no addition at all.
Absolutely.
And in regard to DVD or putting stuff up even on YouTube as well?
Yeah, we have a couple of stuff on YouTube, promotional bits and pieces now. We have a couple of songs like the one you've just shown, recorded.
Right.
We were hoping to package something as a DVD to sell to people that you can take home and watch 12 or 14 songs this year coming up. So with the help of God, we get a chance
to... So that's all
ahead of us.
Ahead of us, right there. And your last CD, the name of that one is then as well?
The very first one we did was called A Hard Act to Follow. That was the first year we were out on the road, and this year we have a brand new one just released called Good Country Songs. And it's a collection of, I suppose, songs that were recorded originally by people that I look up to,
Yes.
George Strait, Alan Jackson, Charlie Pride, Garth Brooks, that kind of thing, Brad Paisley. And we've some Irish stuff on it. There's one that Henry wrote for me called the Two Loving Hearts. There's a Jerry Carney song on it called Mayo Will Always Be Home.
Yeah.
We have a video for that one as well that you're going to show, I think. And there's one written by another Irish guy called Eddie Maguire. Eddie's originally Mayo man. He wrote one called Corcoran from Mayo.
Right.
It's a charity song that I did for Down syndrome Mayo.
Right.
And it kind of took legs around Mayo because we were in the All-Ireland final at the time.
Very good.
it took legs. I was lucky with it,
A good time. And just for our audience out there as well, Gerry, you're from Ballina in Mayo as well.
I'm born and reared in Ballina town.
Actually,
most people that meet you presume that you're from the country because of what I do, but I was right in the centre of Ballina.
Right in the centre.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful town there. Actually, a lovely town, Ballina.
It's a great town, yeah. It's actually the salmon capital of Europe, they tend to say.
Right.
It's a huge salmon fishing town, and that's, we have the River Moy there flowing through. We have loads of things that we ignore because we see them all the time.
That's right, all the time. But you don't realise what's on your doorstep.
We're very, very lucky to have it.
And you're saying there, the most people that would have influenced you throughout your career there as well, too, would have been like what, Charlie Pride and people like that?
Yeah, but like I said, Merle Haggard,
yes.
George Jones, Charlie Pride. Like, I don't think there's any country singer that you probably have spoken to loads of country singers.
Yeah.
Like, I know you have.
And then they've been all influenced by some of those people.
All been influenced by someone like that,
Yeah.
And the Irish scene, like, you can't overlook people like Jimmy Buckley and Robert Mazzell.
Oh, yeah.
Declan Ernie is a big hero of mine because he's such a fine guitar player. I'm a lead guitar player myself.
That's right, and
Declan
is something else.
Nick Flavin, a great country singer as well,
They're all, every one
Absolutely.
of them. Every one
We're
of them.
very lucky to have them,
There's no doubt in that. It's
absolutely.
very, very lucky and unfortunate there, and we lost one in the back there last year there, Larry Cunningham as well. Too,
absolutely, gentleman.
Absolute gentleman, there's no other. And I'm going to go back now on something as well too. You won the male vocalist on Tip FM as well, and two of the awards for that as well.
I did, yeah. That was the first year we out. I got best male vocalist the first year, and we were lucky. We picked up a few awards. Awards are things you can kind of take them in your stride. I know,
but it puts your name out there in the
of
front.
Of course, yeah. The first year we got the best new band, and we got that Tip FM one and at the Sunday World Awards we got I think it was best vocal performance for some of the songs.
Right.
I take them in my stride. I don't take them too serious. But it's nice to get them as well. You know what I mean?
It is lovely.
I'm not saying that it's...
no, because there is a ready-made audience out there within those, and it does put your name out there
Definitely.
all the time. And any little bit that kind of helps to promote the business as well, too.
Yeah,
and you're on a stint there on Glóra Cheer and TG Carr as well, too.
We've recorded an hour-long show for TG Carr, and I have a young girl from Ballina that I'm mentoring in the competition. A girl called Amanda Ryan. Yeah.
That's right.
She's a beautiful country voice,
Yes.
But that's going to be broadcast, I think it's the 27th of February.
Right.
All going well, So it's our first kind of live recording for TV, so it was a bit nerve-wracking, I have to say.
How to get you in here last night? We had a live recording out there on web TV as well, on Drumlin Media.
But it was a great experience, and we're looking forward to hearing the finished product,
And it will be fantastic because they are putting out great shows.
They are, of course. And,
more than ourselves, we put out good shows as well.
Course, yeah. But we put a lot of work into it, so hopefully it'll turn out the way we like it.
And dates and that there even over the coming maybe few weeks as well.
We're always around this part of the country between places like the Kilmore where we've been recently. We do the Four Seasons of Monaghan, the Glencairn, all the surrounding areas, even Carrick and Shannon is not that far away.
That's
from
right.
here,
it's
you know,
only
and it's
down the
a
road.
good venue.
It
Great
is a
Sunday night
fantastic
venue.
venue. It is a fantastic.
We're actually in Carrick and Shannon very soon. I think
it is a lovely venue down there, and
Absolutely,
getting good crowds down there.
it
as
is,
well.
of course, and it's important for our scene too. New venues are great.
Well, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we certainly, even on our gig out now over the coming weeks and months ahead as well, we'll be covering wherever you are in the area, or even further afield, and we'll be putting your gigs out as well. There's no doubt about that. And people can actually get in contact with you through, have you Facebook?
We have, well, I think the whole world is on Facebook now. You know,
Sure,
if you stick in my name or Gerry Guthrie Band into Facebook, you'll get us up there.
Yeah.
We've also got our website is www.gerryguthrie.ie.
Yes.
Look, even if you Google the Lucky Horseshoe, it'll take you to our website.
It'll take you
Put it that way,
down.
some people have difficulty spelling my surname, you know. So
Right.
in the Lucky Horseshoe, that'll take you to
Because there's no one else.
that's it.
There's no
so
one
far
else.
anyway. So
There's no one. And even for any of your albums not there, even at your shows as well, people can pick up on any of your recordings at the shows as well.
yeah, they definitely can. And there's also the record label that I'm signed to is KMAC Records.
Yes.
So if you type in KMAC Records and hit the Google
and that's
button,
through Henry's
right,
thing there in
yeah.
yes, in Castleblaney and Monaghan
That's
as
the one.
well too.
and they'll post out anything you want, CDs or whatever.
Absolutely.
Next day delivery.
Well, that's what it's all about. Next day delivery, and people will get it. And remember, KMAC Records can contact there, or even Facebook there. The Lucky Horseshoe will get Gerry, and one way or another, or Gerry Guthrie. we go to another one of your DVDs, actually, songs, and we'll listen to it because the last one was fantastic, and I'm quite sure each and every one of them are fantastic in their own right. So we listen to another one anyway for now.
The barman was calling, time gentlemen please. At a dark corner table, he seemed ill at ease. His face told the story, his eyes would betray. He said, friend, are you going my way? An old faded picture he kept in his coat. It came with a letter that his mother wrote. Taken at Easter 1963, he said everyone's there except me. Mayo will always be home, no matter wherever I roam. Although we're divided by land and by sea, Mayo will always be home to me. Born on the island, raised on the shore, he talked of the sun and the cloud on Slievemore. Barely a man when he left behind someone who still crosses his mind. He said they're all gone now, there's nobody home. His mother saw 90, she died all alone. Time wasn't in it to bid her goodbye. How it hurt to see this old man cry. Mayo will always be home, no matter wherever I roam. Although we're divided by land and by sea, Mayo will always be home to me. This old man and me, we stopped by the old home one last time to see the house and the garden, the open half door. And he said as we stood on the shore, Mayo will always be home, no matter wherever I roam. Although we're divided by land and by sea, Mayo will always be home. Mayo will always be home, no matter wherever I roam. Although we're divided by land and by sea, Mayo will always be home to me.
that was absolutely. Gee, I could sit here all night and listen to those. They are lovely. They really are lovely. And for anybody out there, do go and get some of Gerry's, if it's a DVD, or look in on YouTube, or go and buy the CDs, because they're well worth listening. A fantastic range of songs. And many songs we reckon now on each album.
The first album that we put out is 12 tracks, and the brand new one is 15 tracks. We put on a couple extra ones because it's good value for money, I suppose.
It is
15 tracks, you know. And there's 14 and a bonus on that one, you know. A couple of Mayo songs on it for the year we're after having.
It'll go down well. It'll go down well.
Definitely.
It'll go down fantastic well. And all I can say is I know time is of the essence, and I really thank you very much for coming in here tonight. And then you have a very hectic and busy schedule ahead of you. And somewhere in the future, down the road, maybe within the next 6 or 8 months, we can get you back in here. You're bringing out a new album again later on in the year, are you?
We're starting recording some stuff again at the moment, believe it or not. The other album is only out about 8 or 10 weeks, but you're always kind of thinking ahead, so we're hoping to bring out a couple of more singles this year of different new stuff.
Right.
And stuff off the brand new album as well. So we're always chipping away at it, so we'll have either a new DVD or a CD before Christmas again.
Right.
In 2013, all going well.
I know what you're saying there, you're cutting short anyway, but I am going to run 1 or 2 more things by you as well there. You would be on stage with different artists from time to time, artists that you would maybe do guest appearances with as well.
That's right, yeah. We do, like I was on Thursday night, I was over in Lochray doing a concert there. There was myself, Mike Denver, Mary Duff, Dominic Kerwin, Johnny Brady.
Yes.
A guy called Mark Roberts, who represents Ireland in the Eurovision.
That's right.
And they're a great avenue to meet other artists and get to hear what people are doing, you know.
It's unbelievable.
They're really good.
Unbelievable, that's right. And Johnny Brady, another fantastic singer as well. Mike there, and I see he has the Bertie Bash down there in the Glencairn on Monday night as well, and he has a lot of the guys with him as well too. So that'll be another fantastic.
But it's great, and there's great camaraderie in the business, you know.
Yes.
You know, between the artists, I mean, there's great friendship and camaraderie between everybody.
And you look at the like of the Kilmore you're in there, would you find that's a whole new venue that only started up there within the past couple of months. Would you find many more of them now around the country? Yeah,
there's always new venues opening now. It always takes a while to figure out whether they're going to be good venues or not.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
Because some places, like, you know, they're either a country venue area or they're not a country area venue.
Like Ballina at home wouldn't really be necessarily a country music town.
Yeah, a place that would have been out there and it was Digger J's.
Yeah, that'd be kind of between Westport and Castlebar. You know,
yeah. And it would draw out a good crowd.
It would, a good spot, and the McWilliam Park there would be a great one.
Yeah.
But I think the location is very important. I mean, Cavan, the Kilmore is a huge area to pull from. People-wise, you know, there's a lot of areas you can pull in from the north and from Cavan.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? And Longford and further afield.
And with new people like yourself, they're coming on the scene as well. You know, for new venues like that, it's great coming in because people are looking at new venue, new names coming in, and this is what people are looking for as well. You'll have like myself there would be still doing the country scene as well, but I still do what they call the social dance as well. But there's a whole new range of very young people coming in, mad to learn to jive and do all the dancing, and they're fed up the discos, and this is where they're going now to bands like yourself, and you're bringing those people out at the moment.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of young people you see that actually are able to dance. Like, you can tell that they've learned to dance properly, you know. Something I cannot do it.
I was talking last week to a guy here in Cavan. He's teaching the dance there. He's probably Gerry Butler. Gerry would have done the sound actually with Patrick. Gerry's a lovely guy, so he's fantastic dancer as well, both set dancer and everything else. He does a lot and teaches as well too. And he's doing the scene, and it's the young people's coming to him. They want to learn, get out there, hear bands like yourself, so they can go in there and they can naturally perform and dance.
Up and dance. Yeah.
Oh, and he's travelling all over because he was in Cavan and Clones, and I think somewhere down the north as well. He unbelievable because there's a big demand out there for that, and a huge demand.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, there's a few different lads at that teaching thing, you know, so it's widespread.
It is wide, right across the country. Absolutely. And when you've got that going on, that means then that there's more new young people coming in on the scene. And that's what's going to help your scene as well, because people are nearly afraid they can't go out there because they can't dance. But once this winter time, from now until next March, April, they'll be teaching that, and out it'll go. People will get out, and you'll have far more packed younger people coming in because they're getting away from the discos and they want to see the live bands. Yeah,
I think you're right, Jan. It's looking forward. Don't scarf on me. It's the middle of winter now, but once spring kicks in, you can see it again. You know, there's always a little lift.
It is a little lift, and even the evenings are getting brighter, so it makes the thing a wee bit better. But getting out in that scene, that's where it's all about. And on playing even around the country with various artists as well, it's for yourself. You jump on stage with these guys, and maybe some of them you know from before, other ones you just meet for the first time. But you said the camaraderie is just something else as well too, because everybody gets on, and there's no one kind of squabbling or fighting with anything. It's all get out there, let's do it together, and everybody's.
Of course.
It makes a whole nice scene for yourself.
It does, of course, yeah. But I think everybody that's in the scene is in it to try and make a living, and no one's trying to make any other one's job hard, if you know what I mean. We're all out just trying to make a living playing music, and I mean, there's never, like, as an example, see, on the new album, we recorded a song called "It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere."
Yes.
And there's 2 vocal parts in it. Alan Jackson recorded it originally with a guy called Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy is right. That's right.
So when I was recording the song, we were deciding on who we'd ask to do it. So we gave Mike Denver a call to see would he step in and do it, and like. We only had to ask him once, you know.
That's right. No
problem. And Mike is the man at the top of his game for
That's right.
10 years, and he was more than happy to hop in and give us a dig out and do the other vocal, you know.
Yeah.
So it shows you.
It's nice there because you're seeing there you doing a duet like that there, and would you've done any duets now, even with any of the lady singers as well?
Not at the moment, but actually I have another duet on the album by a guy that'll be well known around Cavan. There's a guy called Matt Levy.
I know Matt well.
Matt and myself did one on the album called "Come On In." It's an old Buck Owens song that Brad Paisley did with him.
Yeah.
And I did the Brad Paisley part and Matt did Buck's part. Very happy with it. It's a good song, you know. Matt's a great singer as well.
He's a lovely singer. He's lovely. Actually, I think it would, one night he was up in the Arbine Hotel in Navan. I think yourself was there. And Matt was there as well too. And he's a lovely guy and a great singer.
Absolutely.
There is no doubt of that. Unfortunately, time is again us at this stage, and I'd love to just talk to you again. But certainly we will come back to Gerry, and when you put a new album together, we will talk to you and bring you in here, give it a bit more of a plug on yourselves as well and where you're playing.
Absolutely.
And it's a delight to have you in here on the show.
Thanks for your time. It is great.
No problem at all. It's our pleasure, and we love promoting new artists coming in, and it's our pleasure to at least give you as much exposure and let everybody out there know that we have lots of fine talent here, and this is one of them. Gig guide. I will start off with the Glencairn Hotel in Castleblaney, Friday the 1st of March, Robert Mazel in the Ballroom. Friday the 1st of March, Robert Brown in the Temple Bar. Wednesday the 6th of March, Brass Roots, and that's social dancing. And Friday the 8th of March, Aidan Quinn in the Ballroom. Glencairn also, with Saturday the 2nd of March, Cracker in the Temple Bar. And Friday the 8th of March, Santana Folk in the Temple Bar, and Saturday the 9th of March, Michael English in concert. Jimmy's Bar in Monaghan, Friday the 1st of March, a sing-along with Desi Murphy. Saturday the 2nd of March, Take Two. Sunday the 3rd of March, Tom Campbell start at 7 p.m. start. And Terry's Lounge in Monaghan, Sunday the 3rd of March, TR Dallas, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. And the Four Seasons Hotel in Monaghan, Sunday the 3rd of March, Johnny Brady. Sunday the 10th of March, Jimmy Buckley. And we have the Shebeen Bar in Castleblaney, Friday the 1st of March, Trad Lads, and that's the best of country. Saturday the 2nd of March, Country Harmony Band with special guest Chuck Connors. And Monday the 4th of March, Kevin Logue and Francie Smith. Schlievebeg Tourism Centre, Saturday the 2nd of March, Ocean Breeze. Sunday the 3rd of March, Aidan Taff. And Arbine Hotel in Navan, Monday the 4th of March, the David Country Band. And Puckfada in Monaghan, Sunday the 3rd of March, the Fuzzy Burgers, and that's a 9:30 to 11:30 p.m. start to finish. Sunday the 10th of March, Sugartown Road, Maher Clune Community Centre, Ballroom of Romance, Saturday the 2nd of March, Showbud, 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. dance. Johnny Brady, Friday the 1st of March, in the Hazel Tree Mallow in Cork. Saturday the 2nd of March, Tullyglass, Ballymena in County Antrim. And Sunday the 3rd of March, the Four Seasons Hotel in Monaghan. Friday the 8th of March, Jackson Hotel in Ballybofey in County Donegal. Derek Ryan and his weekend is on Friday the 1st of March to Sunday the 3rd of March in the Seven Oaks Hotel in Carlow in County Carlow. Monday the 4th of March in the Bushtown Hotel in Coleraine. And Thursday the 7th of March, M Lounge, Mayfly Inn, Kesh in County Fermanagh. Robert Mazel, Friday the 1st of March in the Glencairn Hotel in Castleblaney. Saturday the 2nd of March, Seven Oaks, Carlow and County Carlow. And Sunday the 3rd of March, the Rue Glen, Slieve in County Waterford. And Monday the 4th of March, Hudson Bay Hotel at Lone in County Westmeath. Gerry Guthrie, Saturday the 2nd of March, the Well in Mouth in County Westmeath. Sunday the 3rd of March, the Spa in Lucan in County Dublin. And Sunday the 7th of March, the Red Cow Inn in Dublin. Friday the 8th of March, the Hazel Tree Mallow in County Cork. Nathan Carter, Friday the 1st of March, the Mellon Country Inn in Omagh, County Tyrone. Sunday the 2nd of March, the Parkway Hotel in Dunaway in County Cork. And Sunday the 3rd of March, we have the Woodlands Hotel in Adair in County Limerick. And we have Nathan Carter, Monday the 4th of March, in the Hudson Bay Hotel in Athlone in County Westmeath, and that's a guest spot. Wednesday the 6th of March in the Craigavon Civic Centre in Concert, 7 p.m. start. And Cabaret Castle in King's Court, and on Thursday the 7th of March in County Cavan. And we have Patrick Feeney. We have Friday the 1st of March in the Banville House in Hotel in Banbridge in County Down. Saturday the 2nd of March in the River Club in Castlefin in County Donegal. And Sunday the 3rd of March, the Times Hotel, Timestown in County Tipperary. Monday the 4th of March in the Ardbine Hotel in Navan in County Meath. We have Mick Flavin, Friday the 1st of March in Digger Jays, Isle in Westport in County Mayo. And Saturday the 2nd of March, Cairns or in Moore in County Galway. And Sunday the 3rd of March in the Hazel Hotel in Monasterevin in County Kildare. Friday the 8th of March, the Dunboyne Castle Hotel in County Meath. Declan Ernie, Friday the 1st of March in the Seven Oaks in Carlow in County Carlow. Saturday the 2nd of March, McWilliam Park Hotel in Claremorris in County Mayo. And Sunday the 3rd of March, Quilty Tavern in Quilty in County Clare. And Monday the 4th of March, the Hudson Bay Hotel in County Westmeath, and that's the Farmers Journal Awards. We have the Cavan Gig Guide, Hotel Kilmore Country Club, Saturday the 1st of March, Mike Denver. Come early or you won't be disappointed. And Saturday the 9th of March, the Outlaws. And we have the Hideout in Bailieborough, Saturday the 2nd of March, John Gaffney and New Blues. And the Cross Lounge in Stone, Saturday the 2nd of March, Brothers Bold. The Bellamont Arms in Coothill, Monday the 4th of March. The Nazi Snappers, Rammer Theatre in Virginia, Friday the 8th of March. That's Isla Grant in Concert and 8 p.m. start. And the Lavey Inn, Sunday the 3rd of March, John Gaffney and New Blue. Ballyjim's Duff, Ballroom of Romance there, Saturday the 2nd of March in Country Storm, and it's a 10 start to 1 a.m. And we have the Harbour Bar in Belturbet, Saturday the 2nd of March, Ian Pickens. And Sunday the 3rd of March, Take Two. The Orchard Lounge in Cavan, Sunday the 3rd of March, White Lightning. And Sunday the 10th of March, Brass Roots with John McIntyre. Langtrees and Ballyjim's Duff. And we have Saturday the 2nd of March, Tommy Gormley, Brady's Lounge in Ballinya. Saturday the 2nd of March, Liam Fagan. And Sunday the 3rd of March is Traditional Irish Music. And that brings tonight's show to an end. And be sure and join me at the same time next week for more of what's happening on the Irish and country scene. And again, a big thanks to the Hotel Kilmore and to Shannonside Northern Sound for the concert that they provided in the Kilmore Hotel last Monday night with a galaxy of stars, most of whom we will be featuring on this show over the coming weeks. And it's good night from Country Time with Quinn.